Hello, 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 and welcome to our weekly live. Let me see. I'm 1 minute a little late. But I promise that I'll be here every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, how are you? How has your week been? I hope that you all have been, doing well. So, what I wanted to do real quick today is to come on live and talk about the upcoming book Bounce Back from Setbacks to Comebacks. I've had a few questions of people asking about the book. So, since the deadline for the application is coming up this Friday, which is March 31st, I wanted to make sure that I do come here live. It's also going to be recorded. So, you'll be able to watch this afterwards and just talk a little bit about Bounce Back, the Bounce Back book. So, here's a little background. 3 years ago, I started the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference, which is virtual. And, I was thinking this year we might be able to come and do it live right here in the Orlando, Florida area. But I don't want to lie to you. They still, talk about people getting sick when they are in gatherings and everything. And I want to make sure that everybody is safe. So we're still going to go virtual for this year. And then we'll, play it by ear next year. However, what happened was during last year's bounce back, I came out with a proposal and I said to the presenters as well as the participants, how about we come up with a bounce back book series? Because I'm thinking, and as you know, many of you know, I have authored over 40 books now. So writing books is like second nature to me. But I thought, you know what? I would love to collaborate with other women that are out there because the speakers that I've had for the last 3 years are powerhouses in their own, areas of expertise. So I decided that, instead of us just hearing them speak, how about we also get people to write their stories and put it together in an anthology, which is one book, A Bounce Back. So that's what brought out that idea that to bring women, those that have been authors before and those that are aspiring authors, you have no idea how many people say to themselves, you know what, I really could write a book. I really want to write a book. So for me to have written over 40 something, I started off this way. I started off giving and writing a chapter on anthologies with a program called Professional Women Network. So I wrote about 8 books with them where I was just writing one chapter and then they published that book, another chapter, they published that book until I eventually said, you know what, I love sharing stories with people. I love inspiring and encouraging people. Why don't I also try to write a book on my own? And then I wrote my first one on my own, and the rest is history. So I am opening it up, and we have a few slots left, which is awesome because then the response has been really high, and I'm excited about those of you that have been accepted. I cannot wait to receive your chapters and put this together for you. I am guaranteeing that we're going to have this as a bestseller because I don't do anything else, with other people, especially to, just waste your time. This is an excellent opportunity for us to be able to inspire, encourage, and empower other people through our stories or through our knowledge and expertise. So if you were asking yourself, well, do I qualify? Everybody qualifies because the title itself says from setbacks to comebacks. We all have fallen down. We all have had difficulties and challenging times. We all have had successes in our lives. How about you sharing your journey? How about you sharing your knowledge on what you know to help somebody else that might be looking for you or your experience so that they can get the advice they need to get back up? COVID is still here, and people are still struggling to get back up and to get their lives in order, to the place where they were before, or even a better place. So people are still in need of inspiration, encouragement, and empowerment, which is the reason why we started the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference, because then we didn't want people to feel alone. We didn't want people to stay and feel like, the world is shut down, so I don't have anybody else that I can talk to or that can talk to me. So when you attend those, conferences, you literally have an opportunity to be there with other women. But most of all, you get to attend, a conference with a speaker that maybe you would have paid hundreds of dollars, for, but you have all of these speakers, about 6 or 8 of them, under one roof in your own home, and get to enjoy them. So this time you're going to have about 20 to 25, authors that will be writing their stories and inspiring you and, everybody else around the world, because it's an international book that we are writing. We have people from Australia, the UK, South Africa, that have already opted to write this, as well as many that are here in the United States. So guess what, ladies? For those of you that are already in, you know what I have told you, that we will be doing book launches in your cities, in your countries. I am personally, and other people also have said, you know what, I want to go on that adventure. We will be coming to your countries and states and places with your own people to support you for this book launch. So when we come to your city, that's your book launch. We are coming in as co-authors to support you, and I will be able to coordinate all of those with you. So I'm very excited, because it gives us an opportunity to meet other women in person, but to inspire and encourage other women in person. If you cannot travel, do not worry, because we also have virtual book launches that we will be doing for those of you that cannot travel. So there's always going to be a way. I, totally believe in that, saying that says, where there is a will, there is a way. So I want you to know that, there is a way that we'll be able to do that. So I want to welcome all of you, and also say to you, if you have not opted to be in this book, I want to encourage you to be in this one here. So this is the first of many bounce back books that we will be writing. This is an anthology, which means we have more than one author that will contribute a chapter. And each chapter is going to be heart-centered, which means each person that will be writing a story in here, it's coming from their heart, what is instilled in their heart to write about. I have many people that have said, you know what, I want to be a part, but I don't know what it is that I can write about. What do you think I should write about? And my answer is, your first yes that you made when you say, yes, I want to be a co-author of this book, is the biggest decision that you can make. Because once you say yes and you opt in to be there and you become still, everything that you need to say will come to you. I am meeting with each co-author. We are talking, and as we brainstorm, just, I have a few questions that I might be able to ask you, and as I ask those questions, you will notice that, oh, something resonates with you, that you say, you know what, that's what I want to write about, and that's what I want to share with the world, and then the rest will be history. We have a team of editors that will be editing each chapter, so you don't have to worry about, you know what, I'm not a good writer and I don't know if I can put, all this together. That's why I am there, and that's why we have this team of people that, I have also worked with and hired to work with us on this bounce back, book series that we'll be doing. So this is the first one. And as you know, whenever we are doing a launch, or whenever something is the beginning, the start, that's the biggest deal, to have been in Bounce Back 1. Because some people will jump in when we are at Bounce Back 2, 3, 4, 5, but you will be special by being in this first Bounce Back 1 book that we are doing. So I want to invite you to take that opportunity and say, you know what, I want to be in Bounce Back 1, because that's a big deal to be in Bounce Back 1 book. What in it for you? A lot of people have said, well, what's in it, for me? If you know me and you've worked with me, one of the things that I, love and do very well is to inspire, encourage, but most of all, to help other people get clear on their passion and what they want to do with their lives. And this book is one way that I know that if decide to have a chapter in this book, it will define and elevate your mission and your purpose of what you're doing. I can guarantee you that you will either have a way of just like something opens up in you, like, whoa, I did this and I can do this. Even after you have authored another book before, this is different because each time that I have co authored with other people and have had a chapter in their books, it was a different experience. It was so excited to be able to connect with other authors and other people that I wouldn't have been able to reach out if I was doing it on my own. So that's one of the biggest takeaways that you can get, that you will be able to collaborate with other authors and co-authors that are in this book that you might not be able to meet on your own if you're not a part of this group putting together. And each one of them, including yourself, will be a referral to each other if you are in business, will also be a consultant, to you if you are one that is aspiring to expand on your future, maybe your career, and maybe you want to change, jobs, and they might have that resource that you need. So that's one way of doing it. For those of you that are in business, it's one way of reaching out more people to know your work, to know your business, to understand your mission and your vision. So you never know. That's the exciting part about being an entrepreneur. We are always expanding and enjoying just letting other people know of our business. And in that, many people that are supposed to work with us will work with us. Those that are supposed to be our customers will be our customers. And that's less work for us because then we do this in collaboration with other people to support each other as well through this journey. So I hope, with that first, what's in it for you, that's going to inspire you to be, in this mode where, I'm ready for this. Here's another thing. A lot of people in their new year resolutions might have written, I want to do something that I'm excited about this 2023. I mean, wouldn't it be so good to be holding a book and saying, I did it, I actually wrote a book? Well, I'm lifting this one here because this is one of the anthologies that I also contributed, a chapter last year. And it was one of the best experiences that I did because I met people that I have not been able to reach out to. And these are experts in their areas of, expertise that I was able to collaborate with in this book, The Successful Mind. But, each time that I'm holding it's a much better feeling when I read their stories as well, from all these authors that, co-authored with me. I'm going, whoa, you know what? This is something that I probably wouldn't have picked up their own books. I wouldn't have thought about it or known about it. But as I read them now, I understand and I also know who to refer to them because when I read your chapter, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? This person specializes in grief or this person specializes in, entrepreneurs, business coaching or something. And then I make the referrals, to them based on that. But just holding on to that finished product helps you, celebrate 2023 and saying, you know what, I did it. So I can, say to you that saying yes to becoming an author is one of the biggest yeses and actually rewarding. And we'll be talking about it at Bounce Back, 2023, where we'll be talking about this book. We're going to be doing the launch, in there. For some reason, I have a feeling that Australia is not going to wait until December for us to do the book launch in Australia. So I'm prepared. I've packed my bags for all of you authors that are in Australia that are saying, well, we got to do ours this year. I have a feeling you guys are not going to wait until after the Bounce Back conference. So guess what? We will pack our bags and we'll be able to come to Australia to do the Australian, book launch for Bounce Back, book one. So the title again is Bounce Back: From Setbacks to Comebacks. I am not, married to any topic or chapter. For those of you that say, "What do I write about?" You can write what's in your heart. you've had setbacks throughout life, and maybe you also have worked with people that have had setbacks and encountered comebacks, and that's what you would like to share about. Or maybe you have advice that you just want to put in 10 points or 12 points on how you have been able to go through this COVID-19 and be able to come out on this side where you are now. Whatever your heart desires, that's what I want you to be able to write about. Another thing is, have fun doing this. I am hoping that you are excited about teaching more people, touching more lives, inspiring and encouraging more people from around the world, and being able to be ready to speak on multiple platforms. Because one of the things that we are doing is, many of the authors that I already signed up, they have blogs, they have talk radios, and they have agreed that they will also be open to interviewing all of our authors and schedule interviews with you, so that you can be on the different platforms and talk about not only your chapter, but talk about your business, your dreams, or whatever your aspirations are. So it's a given that you're going to be a guest on the Dr. STEM show, because I will be doing interviews as well for all the authors that are there. So it increases your public relations as well, being an author, especially when you author an anthology with different other people. That means you never know, a newspaper might pick you up, a magazine might pick you up. They might have a magazine that they publish. We have our own blogs that we do, so of course we're going to be featuring different stories for each of the authors that are there, which is a big thing, because then guess what? The more people that get to know you, the more people that get to know your story, whether you are in business or you are just wanting to inspire another person and encourage another person, that will be mission accomplished for you. So I do have a package that I send you when you send me an email, or even you can put a yes under this live that you'll be seeing now or seeing afterwards. You can just put a yes in there, and then I'll be able to inbox you and talk to you about the package that we have. That way you can be a part of this. As I said, we're closing the applications by Friday, and at this point we have a few slots that are open, and I have no doubt at all that by Friday we'll have all the slots closed out, and then we can start now writing our chapters. Some people are already halfway through. I spoke to 3 of the authors yesterday, just made random calls, and they're like, you have no idea, I've already started writing mine. I'm like, yeah, that's really good. So if you have started writing, yeah. And then here's the thing, there are some people that have written books, and they have a chapter in that book that they say, you know what, this chapter fits in a book like Setbacks to Comebacks, and I can just recycle that chapter from my book and send it over for bounce back. That's also acceptable, because then it's still your story, it's still your chapter and your title. So that way, if you don't have time, because many people have said, I don't have time, I don't think I have time to write this. Well, if you don't have time, sure, recycle what you have, it's okay, because that message might be in one book, and that book has been sold, and maybe it was 3, 4, 5 years ago, and people have forgotten about that book. You can bring back that book again, bring out that chapter. And I suggest, if you decide to do that, at the end of your chapter, you say that this is an excerpt from this book. If you want to read, the whole book, again, we're promoting that book that chapter came from. And my hope is that, people will now go and buy that full book of yours. So that's another way of marketing. And I'm doing this so that you understand that there's no one way of just marketing, because there are also some people that have reached out and asked the question and said, you know what, I've written about 3-4 books and I haven't made any money on it, and I don't know if I want to be able to be a part of another book again. I say, do not be disheartened. And that's why every time we try to come out with come up with innovative ways of marketing your books. But remember now, Your book is almost like your calling card or your business card. Because when people read your book, what we want to sell to the people more are your services if you're in the service business. It's your work, that you're doing so that you can get the high ticket people to be able to understand what your work is and how you would transform their lives, because that's the biggest, takeaway. People want their lives to be transformed. They're transformed and they're looking for different ideas. So even if you're a coach, I'm a coach, and we have 4 or 5 coaches in there, trust me, your people will work with you after reading your chapter, and they will not opt to work with me at all because they're not meant to be my people. They resonate with you and they don't resonate with me. And I will have people that resonate with my chapter and want to work with me, but might not be the right fit people for you. So let's do this and experiment with this. But most of all, it gives us an opportunity to get to know each other, to work together, and to support each other in our businesses, in our careers, in our decisions. And I love this because then this is March. We were celebrating, women this month. So what a way to end this month by us committing to writing this book together so that 2023 is a big, big celebration for us. As I said, this is the first of many bounce back books that we'll have. So be the first one to be in bounce back one, which is from setbacks to comebacks. And then, if you decide to come in the next anthologies, because we'll have different focuses in each anthology, I will be excited to have you as well. But I'm excited for those trailblazers that will be in bounce back one. It's going to resonate with you. Your heart will tell you that, yes, I need to say yes. And you will say a big yes without hesitation. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to having you meet the other excited, enthusiastic authors that are co authoring Bounce Back, from setbacks to comebacks. I wanted to just answer those questions. Today's live. But if you have, oh, when is the deadline for the written content? You know what? At this point, I think what I'm going to do is meet with all of us. Because then I had, April 30th as the deadline, but then other people, coming up and saying, well, they might need maybe, a little bit extra time. So here's what I want to do. Once we close out the applications and everybody is notified of all those co-authors that are participating, we are going to have a Zoom meeting together, and let's all have this decision, because that book has to be out by July 31st, the latest. Come on now. We got to have it out and holding it by July 31st. That's my dream. That's my vision. But then, as I said, it's an anthology. I want it to be a decision that we all, especially for those people that have said yes, we all can get to work in this together. So I'm very flexible about that. Let's talk about it in the group. I'm glad you asked, that question. Oh, I see Miss Anita Jones. She's one of those authors that are going to be there. So yes, I'm very excited about this. Yes, there's a limit to each chapter length. Once I get in touch with you, I will be able to give you the number of words that, we're expecting each co-author to, write. I give you like a bulk, number of words that you can write your chapter in. But then, sometimes people go a little over because they really have this point that they want to make. You go ahead and write that, and then with our editors, we'll have, a way to edit it and then give it back to you for approval before we can, finalize your chapter. So that's, something that I have in the package. I have the number of words that are there, and it's going to be a great project. It's really a great project. It's exciting project. It's an initiative that for Bounce Back Empowerment Conference, this is our first book. The conferences are going well. We've been able to inspire, encourage, empower other women, but it's going to be even a bigger role for us to reach more through the books and our chapters and whatever it is that is instilled in our hearts. So I'm looking forward to talking to you, and again, to all the authors that already have been accepted. Congratulations. And I'll be getting in touch for us to all meet at one, in a Zoom meeting, so that we can now finalize when our last, chapter submissions will be, so that we can get the editors to look at our chapters, make it right, get our cover, done, and boom, we're ready to become a bestseller. I'm telling you, it's going to be a bestseller no matter what. And I'm declaring that I don't care what we have to do. We're going to have this as a bestseller. So as soon as you say yes, just say to yourself, right on your vision board, bestseller 2023, because you are going to be a bestseller together with all of us. All right. So let me see. I'm excited. I'm excited as well. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. And my hope is that once you do this, you also in your practices and wherever you do, you'll be able to do some things like this here that are exciting like this, to put together this, and I'll be able to coach people through it on how I'm putting this together, so that you can also enjoy empowering, encouraging, and getting together with other women in there, because there are billions of us out there. So we all need to be able to share with each other and to be able to encourage each other to do more things like this here together. So I'm very, very excited. So like I said, Australia, it seems like we are coming to you guys first. Very excited about that. So look out for the Bounce Back launch. And I'll say that for Australia, because then you guys are far away. So we have to also plan far away and make sure that, you're ready for us, because we'll be coming from the United States and bringing you all this joy, fun, but mostly encouragement, inspiration, and empowerment through Bounce Back, from setbacks to comebacks. Leave me any questions right under this chat. If you have any questions, inbox me for more information, or you can just go on the website www.drstemi.com. You'll see the flyer for the book. Click on there and just send me a quick, small application there, and I'll send you more information on it. All right. We'll talk to you soon. This is Dr. Stem. Have a great week. I'll see you again next week.